Very much. It was amazing and I think very practical. There are a lot of questions. I have mine as well, but let's start. Maybe start with you, Chiara.
Of course.
You spoke about EU SPA, so there is a question: which of the future procurements and costs of EU SPA or EU SPA would most appropriate for underdeveloped or emerging space countries?
Okay, so yes, regarding the procurement, I would suggest that the best way to get the latest information is to check the USPA website. We have several sections dedicated to different procurements. I suggest, for example, that Horizon Europe could be the right tool to address, let's say, not well represented or not really well established, let's say, companies in the domain, in the space domain, because, as I mentioned in my presentation, the participation of this kind of companies is encouraged. So I will suggest, first of all, to stay tuned in the USPA website and to check all the requirements for each procurement tools. As I mentioned, there are different tools depending in which area are more interested the industry. And regarding the more than the underdeveloped, we suggest for underrepresented country in the space domain to use Horizon Europe tool. So that would be my suggestion. Of course, we target mainly European Union companies. So I don't know if this was clear. So in the EU.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. And here is a question for Grega. You mentioned that it's important to work on the ideas for the company itself, not just follow ESA or other funds. What do you think are next big trends in Earth observation market? Where the data application should be and could be developed?
I mean, what is clear is really that there is a ton of data, both commercial and open, that can easily be exploited. I mean, and I believe that now processing of data is, let's say, a solved problem. So the trends that are happening right now as we speak is making use of machine learning to extract different kind of information out of it. And I mean, there are different approaches. You have people who just throw the data in the machine learning tool and then see what comes out. And then you have people who try to understand the physics behind the process, and then use machine learning in combination with this physics to extract the data. Now, what will happen in the next few years, or what probably will all be focusing in the next few years, is climate change and everything related to that, Green Deal of the European Union and so on. All of this will require procedures to monitor both the impact of the climate change as well as the monitor of our progress towards mitigating it, right? And satellite data present kind of the objective view of our planet, and it's probably the easiest way because it's systematically monitored on the global scale. So I mean, we will all be using the data to try to see whether we are doing a good job. I mean, the European Union is already going in the direction of this direction with the Common Agriculture Policy, where they make a lot of use of satellite data and machine learning to simply detect how farmers are cultivating their land. But then this will go to the deforestation. You will have the companies who are praising that they are carbon neutral. Will start to I will have to start demonstrating how this is the case, right? I mean, so they will have to show, yeah, we are really reforesting this area or whatever. And for all of this, the Earth observation will be an essential tool. And this is where I think there will be really a lot of money flowing in, and hopefully also a lot of benefit for the society.
Thank you. And if we continue with Earth observation data, the main user is the public sector. So Ines, may you share with us what is your experience in it to cooperate with the public sector?
Right. Indeed, as Grega also mentioned, currently with this really like, as I keep on repeating, unprecedented amount of data and all different policies being developed in towards green transition, the climate change, there is really a big need for evidence-based decision-making. And this is where Earth observation and the data provided by various sensors can be of great help. However, I see that the challenge is really to translate those data into understandable, let's say, terms for those who are developing policies and those who are making decisions. And I still see there is a huge gap in between the tech people. Sorry to say so. Maybe it's like categorization, and those who are deciding. And I think, again, every challenge is an opportunity, and we have to have very skillful people in between who can translate what is provided by the data and turned into analytics that might be of use by the public sector. However, what we also see, the other thing is like the differences in easiness to collaborate with various institutions. And it may sound very weird, but the easiest collaboration is with the institutions where you have less developed capacity to work with either GIS or EO data. So obviously, maybe there is the component of competition or willingness to protect certain activities or tasks or responsibilities, but we can see that it differs from organization to organization. Nevertheless, I think that's going to be one of the trends also in the nearest future, that public sector will continue to be the main driver for the use of EO data.
So we see here cooperation between three sectors: academia, public sector, and businesses as well, of course.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And maybe, Michele, you can add about if the company, startups, wants to join Earth observation market, what will be the first steps? Where to start?
Thank you for the question. So, the first step would be, for sure, to start, for example, at ESA or together maybe with the Commission. You know, you will soon have a BIC here. I think it's the right place to apply for some of the ESA BIC. So you will start to be involved a bit into this world and get also technical support from ESA. And then, of course, it depends. I mean, we see a lot of startups on the downstream, so on the data part, and then you can start with all the data that is available. On the upstream, it's a bit more challenging. You need more time, while a startup on the downstream may need, you know, if it's a good one, maybe 18 months, 24 months to start to sell the first product. On the upstream, you need a bit step by step in order to develop technology that will fly in space. I would say that there are funding opportunities at European Commission level, at ESA level, and really to develop this technology together with institutions give you an additional advantage. First of all, because we have all the technical expertise to support these companies, and also together also to help them to get to the investors, which is also the other big gap sometimes, because sometimes, you know, you have a good idea, but you don't know how to present it. And also for this, all the Cassini program and also the way we have also for incubation support these companies also on presenting to investors their idea in a better way.
So someone want to add something? Or maybe Chiara, about the competitiveness in Europe, how to foster it?
Yes, for us it's very important to foster competitiveness in Europe. We try to do this using the several tools we have at our disposal, including innovative incentivization of innovative solutions through Horizon Europe, but also through Cassini. Try to foster, support the development of innovative solutions at startups level, but also SMEs level. Try to keep the competitiveness and the technology up to date, state of the art in Europe, basically. And we also are very keen to support the development of innovative made in Europe products.
Thank you. Maybe there are questions from audience?
I just like to add to that. I mean,
yes,
in terms of competitiveness of Europe, I think that we're actually quite far in this direction. I mean, in Europe, you have some very good companies like ICEYE on the satellite sector, and then in the downstream sector, I think that we have some of the, let's say, most interesting companies in the world here. I feel that the Copernicus mission itself, or let's say be more specific, Sentinel satellites contribute significantly to that, because even though you have a free and open policy, still we do benefit, let's say, first from it as a European companies. And so I think that we are on quite a good track, and we just need to push further and invest our time and effort into that.
And usually new companies, they start with such as programs as you mentioned, and how to go to the next step and, to work with investors. If, for example, you started to work with academia and you want to commercialize your project, so how to see this, transformation from to be an academical level and then be the commercialized project? Someone wants to share?
Yeah, maybe my experience, which I've seen, I mean, investors, at least, we as investors, as institutional investors, we just look for, at least on the commercial market, to have some positive revenues. Private investors, they look scalable solutions. So if you have some good idea which is not scalable, they won't be interested for sure. So they really want to see how much you will grow and how fast you will grow and what's the risk. So if you show them that you are taking care of the risks, the technical one, the business one, and that your idea is somehow, I don't know, we scale like 10 times in the next 5 years, maybe they could be interested. If your idea, if you think, you have to think big with investors. They're not looking for someone who is not thinking big.
But I mean, just to say that in the past 2 years, there's a ton of capital flowing. I mean, maybe this will change now, but we get contacted, I don't know, every week by somebody offering us investment. So it seems that there is an opportunity. And my advice would simply be to create something that adds value, right? I mean, you need to demonstrate that. You need to demonstrate that you can, scale this up to some extent. But as long as you have something that really is adding value to someone, then it's not that difficult to get investment from, again, Horizon Europe, which is equity-free investment, or ESA, or the venture capital, right? I mean, I wouldn't say that going to the venture is always the best case, because then you're often just pursuing further growth rather than creating business.
I just want to add, I think nowadays we have, of course you have one situation when you are approached by the investors and then you have immediate contact with them. But on the other hand, I think we've gone so far in developing this ecosystem for the support of the companies that starts with various idea competitions. You have incubators, you have accelerators, and each of this tool might be a real resource for further developing your business. And I think for us, the major, I mean, in Latvia, for the companies in Latvia and institutions and institutes in Latvia, joining the European Space Agency has been a tremendous, tremendous leap, because suddenly we got access to the expertise we did not have before. And we can, and I must really compliment the people and experts there, that they are so open for communication and providing the advice. So I think we just have to be very clever and proactive in exploring the opportunities we have all around nowadays, and there are plenty of them.
Thank you very much. We have to stick on time, so audience, maybe you can ask a question afterwards in our coffee break. Thank you very much. Applause. Thank you.